close your eyes for a moment, and let's wind the clock back, not to the skyscrapers, not to the traffic, but to a quiet, forested island, its shores edged with marshes and rolling hills. This was Mannahatta, the island of many hills, as the Lenape people called it. They were the first to walk these paths, to fish these rivers, living in harmony with the land for thousands of years. Their story is the first foundational layer of the city we know. Then, in 1624, a ship arrived. The Dutch West India Company established a tiny trading post at the southern tip and called it New Amsterdam. It was a rough, pragmatic place, built for business. Its most famous governor, Peter Stuyvesant, ruled with an iron fist, but even he couldn't hold back the tides of change. In 1664, an English fleet sailed into the harbor, and without a single shot fired, the colony was surrendered. New Amsterdam became New York, named for the Duke of York. For over a century, it grew as a bustling British colonial port. But the spirit of the place was already restless. It was here, at France's Tavern, that patriots plot. Here, after the bitter battles of the Revolutionary War, George Washington bade farewell to his officers. New York became the first capital of the United States, and on the balcony of Federal Hall, Washington was inaugurated as president. This city wasn't just growing. It was helping to birth the nation, but the true metamorphoses, the explosion that would define its modern character, began in the 19th century. Two monumental events unlocked its destiny. First, the Erie Canal. Completed in 1825, it was a ditch of genius connecting the Great Lakes to the Hudson River. Suddenly, the agricultural wealth of a continent flowed through New York's harbor. It became the undisputed commercial heart of America, a gateway of unimaginable scale. And then they came. In their millions, fleeing famine in Ireland, revolution in Germany, poverty and persecution across Eastern Europe and southern Italy, they arrived at a tiny island in the harbor called Castle Garden, and later at the now mythic Ellis Island. Between 1880 and 1920, over 17 million people passed through these gates, their eyes wide with fear and hope. They crammed into tenements on the Lower East Side, working brutal hours for pennies. They brought their languages, their food, their music, their dreams. This human torrent didn't just populate New York. It became New York. It forged a culture of grit, resilience, and breathtaking diversity. That is the city's core identity. From this cauldron, modern New York rose. Steel girders climbed into the sky, birthing the iconic skyline. Wall Street channeled the nation's capital. Broadway lit up with stories. Newspapers in a dozen languages rolled off the presses. The 20th century saw it all. The roar of the Jazz Age, the despair of the Great Depression, the victory parades of World War II, the fiscal crises and urban decay of the 70s, the defiant rebirth symbolized by a place like Times Square, transforming from a symbol of danger to a global crossroad of light. This history isn't just a series of dates in a textbook. It's the DNA of the city's present. It's the reason for its greatest opportunity, the opportunity of perpetual reinvention. New York is not a museum of its past. It's a living workshop of the future, built upon that past. The same harbor that welcomed trading ships and immigrant vessels now welcomes ideas and innovation. The financial capital of Wall Street has been joined and challenged by the tech capital sprouting in Silicon Alley. The garment factories of the Lower East Side have given way to the cutting-edge fashion studios of today. The immigrant spirit that opened pushcart markets now opens viral food trucks and Michelin-starred restaurants. So, what is the best opportunity here right now? It's not a single job or a gold-plated address. The opportunity is access to the ecosystem of ambition. It's the chance to add your layer to the city's ever-evolving story. It's the opportunity to be challenged every single day. To have your ideas questioned, your assumptions tested, your comfort zone demolished. You will meet someone smarter, stranger, and more driven than you on every subway car, in every coffee line. That friction is the energy that creates diamonds. It's the opportunity of collision. Where else does a banker, a ballet dancer, a blockchain developer, and a biochemist cross paths as a matter of routine. The magic of New York happens in the unintended meetings, the conversations that spark partnerships that would never happen anywhere else. Your next collaborator, your mentor, your muse, is probably sitting 3 tables over from you right now. It's the opportunity to find your tribe, no matter how niche your passion. Are you a master of antique pottery, a builder of experimental jazz instruments, a scholar of forgotten languages? There is a community for you here, meeting in a back room in Brooklyn or a rooftop in Queens. You are not weird here. You are just another fascinating thread in the tapestry. And crucially, it's the opportunity to be part of a collective resilience. This city has survived blackouts, storms, attacks, and pandemics. It falls down, it argues. It gets dirty, and it always gets back up. To live here is to participate in that stubborn, magnificent refusal to quit. It forges a certain toughness, a street-smart optimism that is invaluable in any life. The history of New York is a promise it makes to you. It says, this was once a forest. Then it was a fort. Then a market for the world. Then a canvas for the tallest dreams. It has been remade 1,000 times by the people who dared to come here. So the best opportunity is this. A blank page, backed by 400 years of momentum. You won't find it handed to you on a silver platter. You'll have to fight for an apartment, hustle for a job, navigate the noise and the pace. But if you listen, beneath the sirens and the shouting, you can still hear the original promise, carried on the wind from the harbor. The promise of the Lenapes, Mannahatta, of the immigrants' first glimpse of the Statue of Liberty, of the artiste's first empty loft. It's a simple, powerful, endless promise. Begin again. Make your mark, add your layer. We're not finished yet. Think about the sidewalks you walk on. That concrete is layered over cobblestones, layered over crushed oyster shells, layered over Lenape. Every step you take is on the palimpsest of the city's past. And that past isn't inert. It whispers. In the West Village, you can feel the ghost of a winding colonial lane, defying the rigid grid that would later conquer the island. In the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge, you can almost hear the hum of the waterfront, when sailing ships lined the South Street seaport, and the air was thick with the smell of spice, coffee, and tar. This history created a specific kind of infrastructure for opportunity, not just in steel and glass, but in attitude. The grid plan of 1811 was an act of breathtaking, arrogant optimism, mapping streets across hills and marshes for a population that didn't exist yet. They built for the future they believed was inevitable. That forward-leaning ambition is coded into the city's very layout. And that opportunity has always been messy, contentious, and unfair. The same wave of immigration that brought cultural richness also brought nativist backlash. The economic boom of the Gilded Age created staggering inequality. Mansions on Fifth Avenue overlooking tenement squalor a few blocks away. The city's renaissance in the 90s came with debates about gentrification and displacement that rage even more fiercely today. New York's opportunity has never been a utopia. It's a brutal, beautiful marketplace of human struggle. The chance isn't for an easy life. It's for a real one, amplified on the biggest stage. Consider the neighborhoods. Harlem wasn't just a place. It was a renaissance, a defiant cultural explosion that reshaped Black America and the world. The East Village wasn't just cheap apartments. It was a punk rock scream, an avant-garde laboratory. The Bronx gave birth to hip-hop, not in a fancy studio, but in a rec room at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. The opportunity here has always been to take what you have, even if it's just a turntable, a spray can, a typewriter, or a dream, and use the city's intense energy as a catalyst to create something the world has never seen. Today, that catalytic energy is shifting again. The traditional centers of finance and media are now sharing the stage, and the spotlight is moving. Look at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, once the heart of American naval power. Now a hive of urban manufacturing, green tech, and film production. See the transformation of Long Island City. Its factory rooftops now hosting artists gazing at a new skyline. The opportunity is migrating along the subway lines into neighborhoods, in Queens and the Bronx and Staten Island, where new communities are writing the next chapter of the immigrant story, opening family-run restaurants that become destinations, turning bodegas into community hubs. The digital age promised we could work from anywhere, And yet, people still flock here. They still fight to stay here. Why? Because the internet gives you connection. But New York gives you context. You can have a video call with anyone on the planet, but you cannot digitally replicate the chance encounter after that call. Walking out your door and stumbling into a street festival, a political protest, a silent disco in the subway, or just overhearing a conversation, that cracks a problem wide open for you. The city is a constant, unpredictable source of context for your ideas. It grounds them in the chaotic, glorious reality of humanity. So, the more is this. The opportunity is daily, granular, and alive. It is in the yes you say to the invitation to a gallery opening in a Bushwick warehouse. It's in the falafel cart, where you end up talking to the owner about his cousin who needs a website designer. It's in the public library, not just as a place to study, but as a temple to the free flow of information that the city has always championed. It is in the shared grimace and then laugh you exchange with a stranger when the subway suddenly stops in a tunnel, a tiny moment of solidarity in the shared struggle. You are not just moving to a city. You are plugging yourself into a neural network built over 4 centuries, a network of hunger, of grit, of creative fury. You will contribute your voltage, your unique signal, to this humming grid. And in return, it will challenge you to amplify yourself. It will ask you every day, what are you adding to the conversation? What are you building? How are you helping, or hurting, or healing your little corner of it? The history says you can start with nothing and become someone. The present says you can be someone and still feel like nothing on a bad day. The opportunity is the tension between those two truths. It's the space where you get to write your own definition of success against the backdrop of 8 million other people doing the same. So walk down a side street. Look up. See, the fire escapes. The layered brick. The ghost sign of an old brewery painted on the wall. This city is a chronicle of human trying, of trying to make it, to build it, to express it, to survive it. Your name isn't on a building yet. Your story isn't in the guidebooks, but the pavement is waiting for your footsteps. The diner booth is waiting for your big idea. The skyline, ever-changing, has space for the shape of your ambition. The best opportunity is the next one. The one you create tomorrow when you wake up here and decide, once again, to try.